Hello there, Gia.
Hello, Keisha. Hello, people. And my apologies for screwing up everyone's schedules with our podcast, but I was in travel La La Land there for
Y-
extra
y-
days.
Extra days. So you were in Montana. So first of all,
Yep.
how is Montana?
Montana was beautiful. I know that we met, you and I met in Montana, so the people
Yes.
we were both at the University of Montana.
hmm
And so of course I'd seen it before. That was 30 plus years ago, but I was
Wow.
just I don't remember being so awestruck by the mountains. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Wowza, this is like, you know," and flying in and out, you're like, "Wow,
Uh-huh.
plate
Uh-huh.
tectonics, baby." It's just it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy what a
Uh-huh.
presence they are. Um
hmm
so it
Yeah.
was really beautiful, but I did not I wished I had, but I lost a day. I had travel problems on the way and travel problems on the way home.
Oh, that's too bad because it was such a short trip to begin with,
It
wasn't it?
was, and I basically
Yeah.
lost a day of it. So I didn't have time I
Mm.
didn't even go up on the campus or look for our
Oh,
old
uh-huh.
places or anything. But
Uh-huh.
Mammoth Bakery does not exist anymore. I did find that.
Oh, that's crushing. That's
I know.
devastating.
I know. You expect a business to be there.
Yeah, they had a nice cinnamon roll, a
Yep.
nice vanilla coffee, and a nice hummus
Yep.
sandwich.
We ate
Mhm.
there all the time. But anyway,
Yeah,
it was beautiful. It was like 70s, no humidity, and
nice.
it was really nice. And we were
Yeah.
staying like in this newish Airbnb, like kind of near the railroad tracks, if that orients you at
Uh-huh.
all. So I
Uh-huh.
was looking over at the big M on the side of the
Yeah.
mountain that we used to
Uh-huh.
hike up to.
Uh-huh.
So I could kind of see, and I could see the tall buildings of the campus and stuff.
Lovely. Yeah.
But
Nice. Well,
anyway, the service, so I missed kind of the cemetery stuff, but I was there for the other gatherings and the
mhm.
memorial and all that.
Uh-huh.
And one of my cousins was a Navy pilot, and he went up in a plane that he'd built, of course, and
Wow. Okay.
um, scattered some of my aunt's ashes over her favorite huckleberry patch.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
cute.
and so some of us were at they have a family cabin up on, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if we ever went to Lindbergh Lake. It was like an hour and a half out
No,
of.
no, we never did.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Mm.
So we were up on a dock up there, and he like was buzzing us on the dock and then going around, and
Wow.
that was
Huh.
kind of crazy.
Yeah,
So, and
okay.
then they had a big party and a dinner with a Western swing band, and people were being
Mm.
crazy. And my Aunt Pat
Uh-huh.
would have approved thoroughly of all the happenings.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful,
People
Gia.
were alternately, weeping and laughing hysterically and weeping some
Mhm.
more, and
Huh. Okay.
that that
Okay.
kind of a thing, and then
Uh-huh.
dancing, and then
Mhm. Wow, a real roller coaster, huh?
it was a roller coaster of emotions. Yes,
Mhm. Oh, well, that sounds
but
sounds very
anyway,
lovely. Sounds
it
great.
was. It was. I mean, the travel was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a great idea. Tell me what's wrong with this idea.
Okay.
All right. Um, so you know how everybody used to check their bags, and you checked bags and you didn't
Mhm.
pay to check your
Mhm.
bags.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Mhm.
then they were like, "Oh, we're going to start charging you to check bags." And
Mhm.
so now everybody's
So, yeah, try
schlepping every single thing they
into the
own,
cabin. Yeah.
yeah, and putting it up above and getting cranky with each
Mhm.
other and making the flight
Yeah.
attendant. So
Yeah.
and it makes you late. You're like, you've got a tight connection, and you're like, "Oh, well, we should
Mhm.
make it." But
Mhm.
80,000 people have to get all their crap out of the overhead bins
Oh, man,
and
yeah.
knock you on the head with
Yeah.
it and whatever.
Yeah.
So here's my idea. Tell me what's wrong with this.
Okay.
Checking bags is free again, but you
Mhm.
have to pay to
Pay
use
to
the
bring them
overhead
on.
bins.
Ooh.
I mean,
Gia.
seriously, I feel like this. Why aren't we
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah. That's a good
So
idea,
you pay
Gia.
for the privilege of not going to,
Mhm.
to the
Mhm.
baggage
Yeah.
claim area.
Wow. Well, if
And
anybody
so
in the
maybe if
airline
you're a
industry is
business,
listening,
yeah, if
yeah.
you're listening, yeah, tell me. I mean, I'm sure there's a million things wrong with that model, but I'm feeling like that's what we ought to do.
Yeah, well, the current model sounds like it's got a lot of problems. So,
Yeah, so I spent the night in Chicago on the way there,
mhm. 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 Okay.
and on the way back, one of my brothers were on the same flight to Dallas,
Uh-huh.
and we were 40 minutes late taking off because there was a woman on there that had a fall or something. I
Huh.
couldn't tell what was going on. Like
Uh-huh.
not falling, getting on the airplane, but having taken a fall, and she,
Uh-huh.
for some reason, I don't know if they knew she was not in good shape or if she told them. Anyway, they're
Uh-huh.
talking to her, and I can hear them saying like, "Are you having trouble breathing now?" And she's like, "No, I'm okay." She's like,
Oh
"Well,
God.
maybe, and like,
Uh-huh.
so anyway, it took like 40 minutes of them going back and forth to deem her medically unfit to fly
Wow.
and get talked
Jeez.
off the plane, which she didn't
Yeah.
pitch too big of a fit, but I felt
Uh-huh.
bad. I mean, she's like our age, and she's like,
Hmm.
"There's nobody here. Who's gonna get me?" And I'm like, "Oh God, it's awful." But
Yeah. But
um,
but get a move on.
yeah, but get a move on. My brother's got a tight connection. So anyway,
Yeah.
um, so there we're late taking off, and then we're coming into Dallas, and there's apparently huge, horrible line of storms going across the country.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So we end up in Houston,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in Houston for a while, and they're like all totally up in the air. I mean, they weren't like rude, but they were like, "Well,
Uh-huh.
here's what we're doing. We're going
Uh-huh.
back, and if you want to get off here, you can, but you have to rebook yourself and blah." But they were
Wow.
just, they
Uh-huh.
were like, I don't know. And so we're like, get off. And they weren't clear about, did you have to pay for your own,
Uh-huh.
you know? So
Mm.
anyway, we were screwed. So my brother and I spent
Mm.
a few hours in a motel,
Ugh,
and
man, that
he
sucks.
he he got up at 4 and went back to catch his flight out, and I got up
Oh.
at 6 and so anyway, it was hysterical, but
Ugh,
um
that sounds awful, really.
I did a little intermittent fasting involuntarily.
Okay. All
And
right.
then when we got off, and there, of course, the entire airport of people is trying to get to the customer service,
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
they've all been screwed and have to find new
Yeah.
flight. And so, but I
Yeah.
had already rebooked, like they'd rebooked me. So I'm like, Alan, I'm
Uh-huh.
going to be at the bar, and just come get me. So I'm getting chatted up by some Pearl Vision salesman at the bar. So,
Oh,
ooh,
ooh.
yeah, two
Uh.
beers and a Benadryl later, and I'm like, okay, Alan, what time's our next flight?
I gotta hook up with Carl later. He's gonna.
It's so funny. He was like, who was that guy? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
should have ordered food, but I didn't know what we were doing. But anyway, so I was pretty drunk for the 4 hours at the whatever motel we were at. He said, "You're
Wow.
starting to sound like Dad." I'm like, ah!
Oh dear, dear. Well, okay. That all lines up pretty well with what we know of you so far.
Yeah. Anyway, I felt like crapo by the time we finally arrived back.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was all my own doing, of
Well,
course.
not really. Any all that time when you're just sort of in limbo is just such like it's just such awful time. There's no quality to it.
No, there's no quality. Why does sitting make you so tired? You're
Well,
sitting
it's the new
essentially for
smoking. It's
I yeah, I guess so. But
mhm.
but it is like I do like part of me I'm like, this is hell. I'm never ever flying
Yeah.
again. I'm not gonna come see you. Forget it. I'm gonna travel by covered wagon everywhere and
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. You and your
but
horses.
I know. But part of me also thinks that it's good for me to shake my life up every now and then and have to problem solve.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
Like, because it's a constant problem solving thing, and you have to like talk yourself into being zen and not lose your cool completely.
How does that sound like in your head?
It's hard. It's really hard because also you're fearing dying. You also have to talk
Mhm.
yourself not like, into not like having a flip out when the plane's going through a little light chop. And you're like, I
Yeah.
could just stand up and start screaming right now.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
But I just think it's good for me to have to go through these
Okay.
little tests a little bit.
Mhm. That's how I used to feel like whenever I would like run a 5K with zero training or anything. Just I just wanted to test myself and see how quickly I would break down.
I'd
It
say
was
you
pretty
broke down pretty
fast.
quickly because
Almost immediately.
I mean,
I would
I don't
grab
know if
my
that was a
T-shirt.
breakdown, but I have to say you were never in a good mood. Like
No,
that was never one of your best days. I'm like, why does she keep agreeing to do this? She's so cranky.
well, you gotta wake up at like 5 o'clock, and so you're already like screwed out of the best part of the sleep, and then
Yeah,
it's
right.
usually
Yeah.
cold. It's usually cold,
Yeah.
and you gotta wear shorts. Everything's wrong with
I
it
know,
except
but
the
why
free
why so
T-shirt. You
why
get a
were you
T-shirt.
saying yes to any of this?
The T-shirt one, and then two, just to see what I was made of. It
Oh
is,
yeah. All right.
and I was made of, mostly fat and some bone.
That one where you and my coworker friend got passed by the woman with the like
Two
canes or
canes.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two canes. Two
that was
canes.
was worth it for me just to watch that.
Well, sure, you laugh, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at least one of those canes was just a prop.
Was just for looks, yeah, but,
Yeah.
I'd be past now, and I like, though I realized that as much walking as I do, I'm in ridiculously bad shape because
Oh,
I
me
tried to
too.
make my one connection, and so I did the O.J. Simpson through the airport,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
nobody knows what that means anymore. It does not mean I slit
Eh,
my ex-wife's throat. It means
and
I went like
her friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
speeding through the airport, and I arrive at the gate, and I'm like literally clutching the desk, like get out, still, yeah. Oh, but it was me and some other guy, and the lady said, "I'm sorry, it pulled away from the gate. We've already pulled away from the gate." It's like no,
Oh, wow.
I'm
That
like
that
flying through. I had to go from concourse C to concourse B, and it was
uh-huh.
ridiculous,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ridiculous.
Wow. I bet.
Anyway,
Jeez.
all good
Anyway.
times all the way around.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
the real bright spot through the weekend, though, is I don't know if you followed the news at all, but did you see the news story about the escaped zebra in Tennessee?
yeah, I did.
Oh
I
my
did.
God, that was killing me.
It's a pet zebra, right? I only saw like a
Yes.
headline, but
Yeah. Oh, you didn't
hmm.
see any of the memes or the footage of it being
Well,
airlifted?
I saw that picture and I thought, I don't know if I wanna know what's happening there. As long as he's okay, then I'm okay
He
with it, I
is
guess.
okay. He is
Okay.
okay,
Was it
apparently.
a boy zebra?
It was a boy, Ed.
Ed, that's cute.
Ed.
Like Mr. Ed, I guess, maybe?
I don't know, but yeah, they don't make good pets, but
No?
no, they're
They're
pretty
not
vicious.
just striped ponies?
No, no, they don't even like ponies. They don't like them.
Oh,
I think they
wow.
think they're above them or something. And why wouldn't they
Yeah.
think that? I mean, look at them.
Glorious.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess they dropped like a net on him, and then I mean they had a muzzle on him. Like that tells you something.
Wow. It does, doesn't it? Hmm.
So they must have had to tranquilize him or something. I don't know.
Oh,
But
jeez. Wow.
the
Okay.
memes were hysterical all weekend.
Mhm.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm glad you had that to help
I
you.
did. We did. We were
Mm.
following the journey of Ed. I mean, there's footage
Uh,
of him like running along. He's, like
it
people are
could have
driving
gone
by, he's running along.
wow, it could have gone so wrong though.
It could
Glad he's
have. I
okay.
mean, yeah, it's good that it's okay. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
anyway, so all of that has nothing to do with General Hospital, but I did catch up
Mhm.
yesterday and today, so I
As
am
did
prepared
I.
to.
Yeah, and I have to say, hats off to General Hospital because I have been more inclined to try to watch those episodes, like, on the day they occur, like, I used to be able to just, like, sort of watch 3 or 4, like, at a time, but now I don't wanna wait, like, I wanna see what's happening, you
Oh,
know?
you're fully engaged.
I'm
You're
fully engaged,
okay.
although, maybe that's quieting down now is that some of these things are coming out. But yeah, it was still pretty entertaining, I thought. We're talking Thursday, Friday, yesterday, and today, 4 days. right?
Is that right? Maybe did I miss one? Hang on.
I knew it. I knew I should have said we've got 4 episodes, Gia.
Wait. No, I did. No, I did because I
Okay,
was
okay.
thinking, wait a minute. Yeah, I did. But
Yeah,
I
because
was dozing quite a bit. So,
yeah,
um,
I have to say I nodded off a bit today also. But before we get into any of the more recent occurrences, we should talk about, I guess, a little about Lucky and Elizabeth, because I think we forgot to mention that Lucky had proposed in our last
great,
episode.
great. And that can segue into Lucky's departure. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So
well, I was thoroughly disappointed in the proposal. How about
I
you?
was as well. Yes. I was disappointed. And I'm going to have to say, I feel like this is another instance where they brought someone back that is beloved and didn't know what to do with him.
And they fumbled. They fumbled the ball
Fumbled.
completely.
Fumbled. I
Yeah.
mean, and then, like, by contrast, it seems like Rick has gotten quite nice treatment. His character, we've seen new facets of his character and everything,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
more
And
going
he
on.
was
But
not
anyway,
beloved.
not beloved. Not at all. We would taken like
Yeah.
one Lucky instead of 10 Ricks.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, because there he is, and he's not like a legacy character, I guess. He's not old enough to be, I guess, but
Mhm.
a really central character, and they could have made
Yeah.
something mad. I mean, it felt like there were moments where there was a tiny bit
Mhm.
of, like, Sparkle
Mhm.
Pony was at least in the next room, you know?
Yeah. Can I come in? Nope, nope.
Yeah.
Hold on, Sparkle
Hold
Pony.
on, hold on.
We're not
Like,
sure.
the magic between seeing he and Elizabeth kind of getting back together, it was like, ooh, you're
Mhm.
starting to feel a little squishy magic,
Mhm.
but it didn't really come to fruition, It just
No, it didn't. I mean, because
yeah,
that one central moment where they finally kissed was when they swapped him
was
out for the
yeah,
temp.
we had a faux lucky,
A
yeah.
faux Lucky, exactly. And, yeah, and we I don't know. I don't know if they must have known that he wasn't gonna stick around for a long time, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, because he never has, and he's always had other engagements going on, so they probably
Right,
could
right.
have
So they probably
predicted,
knew,
yeah.
like, what sort of block of time they had, and but that doesn't mean that they couldn't have really invested in some sort of a storyline, you know?
Well, a storyline, even if it was one that we knew was gonna break our hearts.
Yeah, yeah, mhm.
Even like a leave Elizabeth at the altar kind of a storyline would have,
Ooh,
I mean, we
yeah,
wouldn't have
right,
liked it, but you know what I mean?
right.
They could have,
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh,
um, I
mhm.
mean, I guess maybe we could try to convince ourselves that we like the maturity of their decision-making process at this point?
Well, it's
Um,
funny you say that because I was thinking Elizabeth has definitely matured, but all of like Lucky's conversations lately have shown that he hasn't really grown, like just the way he's treated like the Christina situation. And then
that's true.
when he was talking to Lulu, he's like, "Yeah, you were doing what you thought was right." He just sort of let her off the hook for what she did, with Geo and stuff. I don't know, it seems like he thinks like being casual, and not getting too emotional is a sign of growth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you don't have to be wearing a three-piece suit and, have a house and 2.5 kids and all, to
Right, right,
show maturity.
right,
Um,
right. Mhm.
you can be doing some exciting, earth-changing work and still
Mhm.
be responsible and mature. But
Mhm.
yeah, he seems a little more like he just doesn't want to grow up. Like he wants to like
Yeah.
be adventure boy forever. And I kind of have a hard time believing that he's really that effective of a like peacekeeper,
I
you know,
know.
like
I know.
like are you really doing good in the world?
Yeah. Right, right, or does he just like sort of the thrill of being in dangerous places,
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
points, kind of getting points for being on like the good side, I guess.
I mean, maybe if we'd seen him working at some soup kitchens or Habitat for Humanity or
Mhm.
something for real,
Yeah, yeah. When he
while he
was
was home and
right, 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 yeah, all he did was bartend a few shifts,
he bartended a few
and
shifts and yeah,
convinced Christina she needed an alibi, you
yeah,
know?
right, yeah, covered up a potential murder.
Yeah, and then I thought, like, when he went to say goodbye to Laura, it's like, "Oh, here you're breaking your mother's heart." Like, that was the scene that sorta killed me, like, seeing how excited she was just to see him and believing that it was a
right,
treat for her,
that it was
you
a
know?
treat because he's, kind of a douchebag and he doesn't normally visit her,
Yeah,
like
that and also he's so special to her.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yep,
that doesn't really
yep.
count for anything. It kinda made me feel sort of the way, like our moms would feel if we came home on a vacation and then, you know, they wanted to spend time with us, but we had other stuff in mind, you know?
Oh my god, this is kinda like Cats in the Cradle, kinda.
Yeah, a little bit. But,
Oh,
anyway,
man.
yeah, but
Now you
I
got me thinking back, did I do that to my mother? I probably did. No doubt I did.
But well, Lucky's definitely doing it to Laura, and, I don't know, and also, like, the whole, like, line, "It hurts too much to stay now that, I know we don't have a future." It kinda feels like, "Hmm, I don't know, you could stick around for a little while." I mean, don't have to leave
Yeah, and he
today.
he got convinced so easily, so quickly that,
Yeah, yeah.
like, it just seemed so, like, foolish of him to, like, "This is
Mhm.
so totally right being with you," and then, like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
never would have worked out. You're so
Yeah.
right,"
Yeah, yeah. And he never saw Isaiah, like, those 2 were supposedly very close, but they
I
never spent
know,
any time
right.
together.
Never yeah. And then
Uh
he gives away his, kid's inheritance
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
and without, consulting as usual anybody, like he might have been like
Anybody. Yeah.
or maybe had some like line in it where, if you ever
Mhm.
sell it, the money has
Mhm.
to go to my
Right.
child because this is
Right.
really all I'm
Yeah.
leaving him. Uh,
Yep, yep. Yeah,
I, so yeah,
so
a little bit of a douchebag Peter Pan, I guess, is what I'm thinking.
yeah, douchebag Peter Pan, and he's a good actor, and he had so
Yeah,
many, like, things about his character that could have been explored more. So, yeah, it just seemed like they
they
didn't really in
squandered it. They
they
squandered the
squandered
opportunity.
it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't invest anything because I guess they thought they should cut their losses or something, but it's like, don't bring back a good character if you don't know what you're gonna do with them.
Right. They just figured that would be enough.
Yeah. Yeah, just having him, like, pass through the hospital once in a while,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I mean, and
Yeah.
the Elizabeth thing could have taken root and been cooler. I
Mhm.
think the 2 actors did as much as they could with what they were given.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah,
Um,
Elizabeth seemed to be really trying, and her
yeah,
lines, like, they sorta sounded right, I guess, but, yeah.
yeah. And I almost also wondering, like, now we have this, "Oh, Lucky's gonna take Aiden with him," and I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
did they hear everybody's criticism of their recast of Aiden, and are they gonna take this opportunity to give us a different Aiden? Like,
Right, right,
I
yeah.
kinda
Could they?
wondered because we haven't seen him in a while.
No, we haven't. We haven't, and that's another character that they completely botched,
They
like,
botched, and he was another one that was really had a lot of potential for
he had
storylines.
so much potential, I thought. He was like an interesting original character, and they didn't seem to value that. So,
Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see, but it kinda struck me, I was like, "Oh, maybe they're gonna recast, so when he comes
mhm.
back in the
Yeah.
fall," you
Yeah,
know?
we can hope. Otherwise, it's gonna look like this old man is following Lucky around like the Serengeti or
"Hey,
something,
dad, do you wanna throw the ball around?"
"Dad, my hip hurts. Can we sit down? My Skechers. I can't.
My Skechers.
Can you get me my Skechers? My bunion's acting up."
I wore my Skechers on my trip.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Do they have a big white sole, your Skechers?
Um, yeah, it is pretty big. They look kinda like skater shoes, really,
Uh-huh.
for old people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
not bad.
Yeah. Okay. They do. I see the ads for them, and I think of you.
And you think badly of me. I know.
No.
I
But
know.
you can tell, like, they have, like, all the actors are youngish people in the commercials, but you know that their audience is, like, people
Is
like
yeah, like yeah,
you're sort of on
70
the
and
young
above.
side. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, people who
yeah.
can't bend over and who have to slide their feet into their
Yeah,
shoes.
and I mean, the backs of some of them, like, whatever they do to, like, build up the heel so that you can slide
Uh-huh.
them on, you, like, put in,
Yeah.
like, particle board or something, like, they look they look ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I don't
Hey, you know what this is totally off topic, I don't know why I just thought of this. I think 'cause my niece was making fun of me all weekend. So, you know the very expensive scarves that it's the
Yeah.
word is Hermes?
Yeah,
Do you know how do you
Hermes.
say that?
I wanna
Oh,
say
you know
Hermes.
how.
I I don't there's no reason why I should know how any more than you, Gia. But
My niece taught me how to say it properly.
did you teach her the proper way to say ruche, which is brush?
No, she taught me everything. So we were splitting a room. We were sharing a room with a king size
Uh-huh,
bed. I was like, I'm
uh-huh.
so sorry that you have to room with your ancient aunt. And she's what, in her 30s now or early 30s?
Is this
She's so
Grace
cute.
or
Yeah,
okay,
Grace.
uh-huh,
She's so cute. So
uh-huh.
she's got her little bag and her perfect little. I'm like, I get there and my travel toiletry bag was an almost defunct large Ziploc with a purple rubber
Yeah,
band
yeah,
holding it
yeah,
together. I was
yes.
like, Grace, what's wrong with this picture? Like her little travel kit, is hung up perfectly. And uh,
Oh,
it
dear,
reminded
that's
me of,
cute.
doesn't Bob Marley do Bob Marley, the comedian, the main comedian?
Mhm,
He had
mhm.
some bit about his parents traveling with like Hannaford plastic bags or
That
something.
that sounds right,
I
yeah.
was like, that is so exactly right. I didn't even
Yeah,
think about it, but
yeah, mhm.
uh, anyway.
True.
Okay. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about the
No,
general hospital. Um,
okay. Alright,
okay, so
so
that was a lucky thing. So Lucky's out.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
Lucky's
Bye
out.
bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye-bye. Yeah, and then we had the birth of Daisy, little Daisy.
I like the Daisy name.
Me too. Mhm.
I thought a lot of that acting during that little scene was awkward.
Yeah.
Like Willow coming in and acting like she knew what the hell she was doing, and
Yeah,
laying
uh-huh.
laying the kit down, and
Yeah.
they didn't show any of the scenes where they cleared the room and somehow, like, unless I nodded off, like, how did they suddenly allow Willow to take over this situation?
Yeah, well, she sort of, like, quietly stepped up
Yeah.
to Michael and Sasha and said, offered to help. But, yeah, it seems like she should have been barking some orders, like, "I
Hot
need some."
water, towels,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, all the
yeah,
usual stuff,
yeah.
but,
I
yeah,
may have
maybe.
nodded off during parts of this, I admit.
Well, no, it was a little bit streamlined, I guess, and
Yeah,
simplified. And she's used to working in a hospital with no other staff, so
that's
maybe,
true, right? She'd probably done a lot of single births, yeah. Um, so anyway, that felt a little awkward,
Yeah, yeah.
but glad that's over with. Glad
Mhm.
Jason's kind of off the hook.
Yeah, yeah, everybody's happy on that side, and, I'm starting to think, why doesn't Michael maybe follow Drew's advice, just settle down with Daisy and let the other 2 kids go off with Willow? He doesn't
Oh,
really know Amelia, does he? Spent maybe a month or 2 with her and then
was that
Wiley.
was that a yet another Amelia, or did I
I
just not
think
really
so,
look at
I
that
think so.
carefully?
She didn't seem too dialed in.
Child.
It's like, "What's your motivation here, Amelia?"
What's my backstory in this scene? I'm not
Yeah,
feeling this.
maybe they didn't give her
Uh,
enough to work with.
yeah. I don't know. You probably didn't see Chandra's comment, but she was very wants to know what you thought about Wiley's big scenes because he
Well,
did get handed some juicy stuff.
he did, and actually during that, like, moment where he listened to Drew, I
Yeah.
and then when Michael, like, tried to comfort him and figured out why he was so upset, I did like him a little bit more.
Did you? I thought he was overdoing, like playing it for the back row. A little too.
Well, yeah, a little bit more.
A little over
I still
emoting, like it's
think
not Broadway,
Michael,
Wiley. It's
right,
just
right. It's not even community theater.
yeah.
But yeah, I still feel like Michael might be better off if he just lightened the load there and, started fresh with
Just move. We're
Daisy.
gonna move forward with a new candidate. Wiley and Amelia. I'm moving forward with a different candidate.
Don't worry, you've got Willow and you've got Drew, who sounds like Drew is probably going to kill them all one by one. Somehow he's
he
going to.
is seeming he is seeming more and more like a psychopath, like a
Yeah.
diabolical kind of person.
Yeah, I mean that shit he pulled with Wiley was pretty
Yeah.
cold. Pretty
Yeah.
fucking cold.
Even Rick was kind of grimacing,
Yeah.
like he couldn't believe he
Yeah.
was, having to go along with
Representing
this.
this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope he felt
Um
like kind of a shithead there.
and Drew's body language and everything, he's just
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard to take.
Yeah. And then I guess we did get off Sasha a little bit. But going to today when Willow mentioned flying to Germany, Michael told
Yeah.
Diane, and that
Yeah.
amounted to nothing.
It was another nothing burger, wasn't it?
I mean, I
Like
guess it could still
why?
surface later, but that was when it would have been the most helpful, right? To expose
Right.
that. I
I
don't.
mean, so Michael scribbles on the pad, that didn't happen,
Yeah,
or that
yeah.
never happened, or something like
Mhm.
that. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking like, okay, they're gonna get
Yeah.
to the bottom of this,
Yeah.
and it just sort of disappeared.
Right, right. And so he was talking with Carly afterwards, wasn't he, about it?
I don't remember
Okay.
sleeping.
Okay. I think so. And yeah, yeah, because he said, so Willow really flew to Germany, and Carly said, I think, yeah, Jason talked her into going, something like that. So they both know that Willow went at this point, but they don't know why nobody told Michael. And maybe Carly will chase down that information or something,
Somebody needs to chase it down, and um, yeah, I don't know, because it's yeah, I mean that's got to come out, and Nina sleeping with Drew has got to come out. Like this is the only
Yeah.
time when any of those things that got planted oh so long ago would be
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah. And then I mean, Willow should ask Wiley about overhearing Drew, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I hope that truth comes out too, because that's just despicable.
It's
Um,
despicable.
all of these things.
Diane looks stunning again.
Oh,
She
she
changed
sure
to a
did.
different suit. Those long legs and those incredibly high heels, and she's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she
Can
just
you
like roams across that courtroom
right,
like she
right.
owns it.
Yep,
She's really.
yeah. Mhm. I know.
I
Can you
even if I were acting, I couldn't act that. I couldn't, you know.
I
If
would
they said walk
snap an
across the room like
ankle.
you own it, yeah, I just couldn't act like I owned any space of territory like that. And she's
Mm,
just
mhm,
so
mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so the courtroom. So now we've had all the arguments, right? Like everybody's done.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're just coming back to the ruling, and there's no
Mm.
jury, right? It's just a
Right,
judge
just the
deciding.
judge. Uh-huh.
I think I read that actor playing the judge is daughter of the actor that played Odo on Deep Space Nine.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That's just a
Any of
little bit
it.
of extra
Odo,
information
Odo.
on Deep Space Nine. Yeah, he was a shapeshifter.
Sure, sure. Of course he
Yeah.
was. Speaking of shapeshifters, not really.
Yeah.
Uh, do you remember yeah, we're both gonna fall asleep here, I'm afraid. So let's try to pack in some
Yeah.
content here.
Yeah.
Um, do you remember when Natalia was referring to her
Oh,
children?
Natalia's stuff. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but back before we ever met Marco, I think even before we met Blaze Allison, when she talked about the name of her son, was it Marco? I thought it was like Elodie or something like that, or was that just somebody who worked at like
Oh,
their
right. No, you're
compound?
right. It wasn't Marco, was it? It was like somebody's gonna have to tell us.
I
It
know. Well,
wasn't.
it sounded like that
You're
Deep
right,
Space
though.
Nine name that you
Yeah,
just
you're
said.
right. You're right. And he was a guitar player, but that's him.
Yeah,
That's the Marco guy. But it was like
yeah.
Adanya or something, or why are you and I are really bad with names.
We are, and everything else
Yeah,
too, but
yeah,
maybe especially names. But anyway, it's
seriously.
just weird to me that they decided to like change like the character and
And the name,
the
yeah,
name,
yeah.
and I don't know, unless they sort of explain that that was his name or his stage
And
name or
he didn't want
something,
to
and
take, yeah, it could be a
yeah.
stage name, right, right.
But
But
anyway,
he threw his life away to be a lawyer. Yes, I forgot all about Natalia, but I'm so glad you brought her up because guess what? Now I like her.
I was not gonna be able to guess that because I was thinking, oh, so now they brought her back to her original bitch mode again, right?
Yep,
Like,
yep, and that's where she shines.
yeah, and maybe if she leans into this and is like the bitch that we knew,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's true. It will all ring a little more true because yeah, she waltzes in, she disses
She sucks down a
Lucas.
couple of vodka sodas at the
Yeah, she was just
pool.
drinking and drinking when Marco was
Yeah.
kind of trying to
She
get
was she
through
was
to
like
her.
me at the airport bar slash barbecue.
So, yeah, she wasn't very likable at all in that poolside scene there. Um,
I didn't
but
think she I didn't really feel like she dissed Lucas as much as Marco thought she did. Like
well, she
she
didn't
said
take
hello. I mean,
Yeah, but I guess you would expect that if, like, let's say your mom's coming up to you and someone that she should sense you're involved with, I guess, right?
well, why? He
Uh,
didn't really say he was. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, I just introduced him as his friend, I guess, maybe
yeah.
because he knows she doesn't want to hear anything more than that. But I don't know. She didn't show any interest in Lucas. She really just said sort of hi. And then, can I talk
Well,
to you
yeah, she only said
privately?
hi, but I mean, she wasn't rude. She didn't like
I think it was
not
a
say
little
hi.
rude. I mean, not maybe
Really?
not to the extent that Marco thought, but I thought she was kind of rude.
Huh. I didn't take it that way, but well, I mean, I just thought that I mean, if he made a point of saying this is,
Someone who's
this
very
is
special to me or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lucas, my
yeah,
really special friend or something,
yeah,
like
yeah,
if I'm
uh-huh.
just standing there with somebody and I say this is,
Yeah, maybe they should have had him
this
say
is
something
Bob.
like that
Hey,
and
this is
had her
Bob.
be
Yeah.
rude, because then it
Then
would have
then it
sort
might
of
have been
yeah,
made a little more sense, but
yeah, yeah,
um
okay, okay. Mhm.
anyway, I feel like Marco's clothes are all a little too clingy.
Yeah.
Are you having that sensation at all?
He doesn't do a single thing for me, and maybe
Well,
he's
I mean,
not
he's not
supposed to.
supposed to.
But, like, yeah, like, they show him, like, getting out of the pool and stuff, and it's like, whatever, okay. Somebody's getting out of the pool.
Whatever. He's not playing for your team, so you're not really supposed to be getting all excited.
I
But I'm just saying,
know.
wardrobe-wise, everything looks like
Yeah,
just quite
yeah.
skin tight. It's kind of
Right,
weird.
right. I don't know if
Maybe
that's
that's
a
in now. I don't know. I don't really know.
maybe that's deliberate. Yeah, we'll never know.
But anyway, I thought Natalia was just deliciously uh, rude. The whole drunken
Rude.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rude at the police station, rude to
Yes.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
like entitled, snobby,
Yeah.
all the things that, you don't like in her. They were all there. Yeah.
I follow this thing on Facebook. What's it called? Sock Puppet Master, and somebody
Uh-huh.
has taken and animated these actual 911 calls and
Uh-huh.
also police stopping people for
Uh-huh.
drunk driving and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and turned
Uh-huh.
everybody into like turtles and weird animals and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And
Uh-huh.
oh my god, and people are just so stupid and
Uh-huh.
hysterical, and
Uh-huh.
they'll be
Yeah.
calling 911 because they have like a fly in their house or something.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
just
Uh-huh.
anyway. She reminded me of one of those people that could have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
turned
she was
into.
just a nuisance, yeah, and also,
Yeah.
I was gonna say going back to the pool scene, she starts talking about how she wants Marco to help her get through to Allison, who won't return her calls because she wants to join her on tour and everything, and it's just like, "Wow, you are such a mess," you know? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Thinking that her daughter wants anything to do with her, especially have her show up and join her, just seems a little crazy. But maybe
And
that
then
was just
she
supposed to show us how delusional she
how
is right
rude
now.
and delusional she is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she calls Jens? Am I saying that correctly?
Jens.
Gents or Jens? No,
Jens.
I'm not trying to do my thing. I'm trying to really get it.
This isn't part of your
Walk
Gia
me through
shtick.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Walk me. Is it Jens with a Z sound at the end or gents?
Yes,
Gent
Jens with a Z. Like
with a Z. Jen.
lens, but with a J.
Lens. Okay, Jens. So anyway, she makes some call to him.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah, she was gonna go get in his face, and then she got pulled over instead, so I
Anyway,
don't know.
I
Yeah.
like the direction they're taking with her. I think that's.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took her out of Sunny's orbit because that wasn't working.
Well,
Um,
somewhat though, because did you fall asleep during the part where Sunny had her sit
what?
down? She sat down with Sunny
Oh
after
right, yeah, and he
for a
was kind
little
of
bit.
nice to
He
her.
was
Yeah,
nice to her, because
yeah,
this is our new Zen Sunny.
right.
But
Yeah.
that ADA who's gunning for him, realizes she's got Natalia who has some sort of connection to Sunny. So
Oh,
I
that's
think
right. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wondering if she's gonna try to exploit Natalia to get info on Sunny, and if maybe it'll work in Sunny's favor that he was nice to Natalia when nobody else was,
When nobody
really.
else was, that could be. Yeah, you could be
I
right.
don't know. I don't know what's happening there, but I don't that whole, like, new storyline of this woman who doesn't think Anna and Jason can talk in a park, and stuff like that
Yeah,
is just, like,
yeah.
that's a little tiresome, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of they've been there and done that so many times
Yeah.
with people
Yeah.
gunning for Sunny, and it's just a
Right.
little bit
Right.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think, do you think he's gonna retire? Do you think he's gonna let the peers, like, be taken over or any of that stuff? Do you think
I
they're
kind of hope so, just because I'd like to see. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if there's any realism in thinking you can retire from the mob, but it's a story, so they can do whatever they want.
Right, right, yeah.
Um, but wouldn't you like to see them take him in some different direction than the
Yeah,
same
I
old?
would love that. Yeah, I would love it, especially, like, if he decided to retire and then this woman who's trying to, like, throw him in jail has nothing, like, he's
He's
just, like
actually importing coffee.
Right,
Yeah,
right, they're not his peers anymore, nothing,
yeah,
and yeah, that would be kind of cute, I think.
yeah. And he does seem. You're right. He's very zen, and he's just handing out advice all day long to most people now. You're like,
Yeah, yeah, and he's not mad at anybody.
he's like practicing box breathing, and he's
Yeah.
just. I can like maybe that'll be his new sort of like he's like the town guru that just sort of
Yeah, yeah.
like
Laura will come to him when she needs to be settled
he
down.
counts he gives good counsel. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah, mhm.
yeah, he's like maybe he could be like the dude, you know,
Yeah,
the Big
yeah,
Lebowski kind of give
yep,
advice.
mhm, that's right, exactly, yeah, so, I don't know, we'll
So
see.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm hoping they're rebooting Natalia. I guess that's my hope. And
Yeah, and it seems like you could be right there, that's what's happening. Yep.
I also just love the way she was just sitting sort of in this post drunken state with her boobs kind of hanging out and just being all,
Uh-huh.
like looking just like an old drunk slut sitting at the police station, like
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
and being okay with that rather than this mincing
Mhm,
little, oh, what do you need,
mhm.
Sonny? And
Yeah, yeah, you're
it
right,
felt
yeah.
more real. It felt more like she was digging into
Mhm,
this role a little better.
mhm. Yep, yep. That's true. Yeah,
And
so that could be fun, I guess. Yeah, if she
yeah.
really embraces her dark side or her messy
Yeah,
side.
like maybe in the same way that Drew, like they made Drew like
Yeah, yeah.
go to
Maybe they're
dark, to turn
learning
into
from that.
dark Drew, and he's like
Mhm.
obviously having way more fun with
Way
this
more
guy.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. True. Okay, let's see. There was something else that you reminded me of.
Uh,
Well, what do you think about Brooklyn? Brooklyn and Tracy had a pretty good conversation.
yeah, they had a long chat at the
Mhm.
pond there.
Mhm.
Um, well, what do you think Brooklyn's hiring Marco for, to sue Lulu? I mean, she said something about if I were suing anybody, it would be my mom
Yeah.
and grandmother. So that implied that she wasn't suing Lulu. But why
Yeah.
did she need a lawyer
I
if
don't
she?
know. It did seem like, yeah, something was happening there. With Lulu, I think was the target.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. But I did like Tracy's the direction she tried to take Brooklyn in instead of like sort of like trying to egg her on, she was trying
Yeah,
to.
which is what you'd expect. You'd think she'd be
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I like
like
that she was
follow my
reminding her.
footsteps.
Yeah, yeah, and reminding her that she had all these good things and that Tracy herself had missed down on some things because she was so bent on,
Right,
revenge
bent
and
on
stuff.
revenge her whole life, and
So
yeah,
that was nice, although it didn't seem like it really
I
took.
don't think it was taking. No, um,
No, no.
I was starting to think they actually look alike. They both got same big dark
Mm,
eyes, and like they really look
mhm.
related in a weird way.
Yeah, that bone structure and yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
nice. I mean, I always like a Tracy conversation, of course.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
And we also had a lot of action at the pool.
a lot
Lots
of
and lots of
poolside
action at
stuff.
the
We
pool.
had Gio and Rocco have a nice
Mhm.
conversation, I thought.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a little uneven, but it did seem like the part that kinda rang true, I think, was Rocco trying to defend Dante and Gio not having
Having
any
no
of it,
part of it. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he can't pretend yet, that he's okay with Dante, and I respect that.
I do too. Yeah, I hope he sticks to his guns. Like I don't know what I need to see Dante do.
Yeah.
Um I mean, I feel like I'd almost respect Dante more if he continued to dislike Gio. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? Like if he just
If he doubled down.
yeah, if
You
he's
know
like,
what?
yeah, he may be my kid, but like I
I
don't
don't
know.
want you
Not
anywhere near
really, but yeah.
Rocco.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if he
Yeah.
cuz he must realize how false it would seem if he suddenly just came
Yeah.
sucking up to him, cuz
Yeah, and he
now that he
probably will
knows.
say something like that, like, "I'm sure
Yeah.
this doesn't sound genuine." Um,
Yeah. I mean, they need to start back from square one, and
mhm,
I don't know. I don't know what it would take, but I'm liking this Rocco actor more and more.
mhm.
He's kind of natural seeming.
Yeah, yeah, naturally awkward.
Yes. And
Uh-huh.
I also am naturally awkward.
I know we can relate to that.
I'm naturally and unnaturally awkward. Out of this world awkward.
Next level awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
uh-huh.
I just kind of liked that they were conversing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and then we have the new Christina's new not impulsive plan to
Oh
have
Jesus. I know. I was like,
Cody seduce Ava. I mean,
yeah.
he has to know that that's gonna completely ruin his chances with Molly if he gets
Right, but
involved
they
in
seem to
it.
be like kicking him back to his original like sort of drifter
Yeah,
personality.
yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
like that.
want that. No,
Yeah.
that's my line. Yeah, I don't
I
like
don't
that either.
like that. I don't like that at all. But
No.
I do think I'm down with having a bunch of stuff with Cody and Ava. I think they might be able to bring it.
Yeah, I hope so because that was all kinda weird and over the top the way he was so apologetic. Was he trying to be flirty
About
or
the
something?
chair. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, that didn't seem very Cody-like, really.
No, it was a little weird, and then she didn't really use the chair, so it was kind of stupid. But
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
did you like her outfit that day at the pool?
I did, yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I
I
actually
d
didn't. Normally,
I
I like her outfits, but
well, I thought she's the one who can pull off that long sort of
the
sheer kinda
flowing
cover-up
caftan,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You could buy those down here. Do you want me to get you one?
Nope.
I could see you flowing through your house in that.
Getting caught on something.
Yeah, you can use it to,
Yeah.
like, mop up stuff on the floor and
Yeah, well, that's how it would be used. Didn't you like her hat, though?
no, that's what I
No?
didn't like. I liked the
Wow.
caftan more than the hat, but
Interesting. Okay, alright.
and I also didn't like her look today with the
The
weird
leather
belty thing on the
yeah,
leather
that was
pants.
it
That was
it didn't
weird.
I couldn't tell if it was like a belt buckle or like a new place to put a brooch. Like,
Might have been a
look
brooch, sure.
look
Um,
down here.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was like a big piece of heavy metal. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was supposed to be. Didn't look comfortable. Like if you're sitting, that looked like it would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and those pants. Like, I think one of the things that was upsetting to me, and
Mhm.
this is completely stupid, is
It's
like
a
I
safe
was
space. Go ahead and be stupid.
not really, but sure. Um, I couldn't tell like what the weather was supposed to be like if I
Right,
looked
because some
from
people were at the pool and some people
yeah,
were like more
and
covered
then
up and yeah.
yeah, like the leather pants seemed like they would be really hot to me, and then like Brooklyn's top seemed like all it she always wears stuff that
You
seems like
can't
it
go by Brooklyn though because
I
she's
know, but,
always
like,
yeah.
so dark, and it seems like a blouse maybe like a 65-year-old woman would wear, you
Well,
know?
that's what they always have. I mean, I think
Yeah.
in real life she must have demanded that wardrobe because
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
I
It's
don't know. I mean, I
consistently bad, isn't it?
yeah,
Really?
and I mean, it's covering every bit of skin other than
Yeah.
her legs usually.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's like maybe she I don't know. I kind of like is it a religious thing even maybe? Like, can she not show her
Huh.
arms? Have we seen her arms ever?
I feel like we have. I think we've seen short sleeves at some
Have we?
point. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. But, yeah, so I was like I kept having to, like, adjust in my brain to, like, what the temperature might be. I don't
Yeah,
know why, you
right.
know?
Yeah, it's
Um,
June. It's June in Port Charles. We don't
it's
know what that
June
could be.
yeah, it should be short sleeves and,
Yeah.
you
Um,
know
but anyway, yeah, so to get back to Christina and Cody, like, yes, Christina is and it was hysterical because at one point she's like, I'm not being impulsive.
right,
Taking my
right.
time with this,
Long game, yeah. Mhm.
harebrained scheme
Yeah,
to
that
do
she
what?
just thought of at the moment
Yeah.
she saw Ava and Cody talking, right?
I did have a moment where I did like I didn't know what was going on there at first, and then I realized like, oh, she was having a little PTSD moment about
Mhm. Yeah.
looking up at the window and remembering,
Mhm.
it was her first time
Mhm.
back after having
Mhm.
going through that window, and that was kind of a cool little moment. But then
Yeah.
immediately she goes into yeah, I mean, not even that that's impulsive. It's just that like, is that a realistic thing to do to try to break somebody like? And what's her
It's
goal there?
right, if it's just to sort of is she gonna does she think she can blackmail her with this information? I don't think so. She's
Is
not
she trying to help Molly? Like she kind of made it sound like she was trying to help Molly, but is that really
that
like?
didn't seem genuine to me
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
like
She knows Rick's a scoundrel, and Molly knows
yeah.
Rick's a scoundrel. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't think yeah, that just seemed absurd, really.
yeah. So nothing good going on there. Alexis, like, I
Mhm.
mean, I almost feel like we should just say, Alexis, we'll understand if you want to have a vodka tonic.
Just start drinking, yeah.
Just yeah, it's
Go out with
totally
Natalia and have
understandable.
a good
Yeah,
time, you know?
yeah. Like,
Bury the
don't
hatchet.
look at it as alcoholism. Look at it as sort of an earned addiction that like
An
that's
earned addiction. Some people are entitled to be
like you're not
alcoholics, yeah.
choosing to ruin your life. Your children are ruining your life,
Yes, 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 right. They've
and
backed you into a corner where you
you
need
deserve a
something.
few moments peace with the
Yeah.
vodka. You know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, because, Alexis can't take much more. Maybe not she can't take any more
No, I
nonsense.
mean she seems to me like she's at a real breaking point,
She
and
is. She
I
is,
don't
yeah.
blame her. Um,
I don't either. But maybe you think, see, I wish that maybe Christina had hatched maybe a slightly different plan that showed that she was completely nuts, that
yeah, then we could
she
go ahead with the committing her idea.
yeah, or just like see like how much damage she can really inflict before anybody really decides that they have to stop her,
Right, stop shielding her and
Yeah,
get the woman some
right.
help,
Right, I
please.
mean, Lucky's leaving town, maybe partly because he doesn't wanna be responsible for this
That
train
could
wreck,
be, right. Well, we
Um,
know that Dante's onto her a little bit. I don't
yeah,
know if he'll be
yeah,
the one to
right,
uncover
right,
what's going on next, but,
right, well, if he's friends with Cody, if
yeah.
Cody sorta if he sees Cody with Ava, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Dante's plate's pretty full right now, but
It
he's
is
got a
pretty
full
full.
full dance card, I guess.
Yeah, he sure does, yeah.
I
So,
think I might be catching a cold, people.
you sound a little stuffy, actually, suddenly.
Um, yeah, I've only been around 8 million people for the last
Yeah,
couple
in
days,
that
so
cesspool of an airplane.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
sitting waiting to get on one of my flights, and there's this extended family, and they all have Z names, Xander and Zissy, and like toddlers and infants,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
a grandmother with a very cutting voice,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just sitting there like praying, like please, 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 and of course seated
They
right
sat
behind me. Yeah.
oh, dear. Oh, no. Yeah.
I wouldn't
Wow.
be a good flight attendant, but
I would be a terrible flight attendant. I can't imagine, that sounds like an awful job to me, to be trapped in a plane, a
yeah,
confined environment, like, with the smell of peanuts overwhelming you.
I don't know when you last flew.
Do they not smell like peanuts anymore?
I don't even know if they do peanuts because of the allergy thing.
Allergies, yeah. Well, that would be one step in the right direction.
But I got cookies. You could get
Oh,
pretzels. Um,
okay. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's true, yeah.
they
But
might still be.
still.
My dad used to bring me. Used to fly all the time for business, and he'd bring me his little tiny empty liquor bottles because I loved
Uh-huh.
those. And and the bags of peanuts. But
We
yeah,
that must be a corner piece in the
I
puzzle
don't.
that is
No, I mean
Gia.
they were empty. They were empty. He
I
would have
know,
drank
I
them.
know.
I like the miniature nature of them, not the alcohol. Uh, um.
Mhm.
Anyway, yes, Christina. Yeah. Uh,
Mess, just a big
messy,
mess.
messy. I was just shaking my head. It's like, well, every time you think she's turned a corner and kind of had
Yeah,
a little moment of self-realization, it's like, no, she
yeah.
really has. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, Ava's holding a lot of cards. Is she just thinking somehow she can, like, even the score if she has something on Ava? But she's not gonna have anything
She's
unless
not gonna have anything. I mean, maybe she's
yeah,
just gonna try to. I don't know. I don't know what would be achieved by this. But the only thing I just
yeah,
did have that thought pass my mind that like, oh, I like the idea of Cody and Ava
yeah,
sparring a bit. So
yeah, that could be
Ava is a
fun.
bit of a cougar, so
She is. She wouldn't say no to Cody, I don't think.
no, I don't think so.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that'll be possibly fun, something to look forward to.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. What else we
Hmm.
got?
Oh, I keep thinking of things and then forgetting them.
Well, we're probably at our time limit anyway.
Just
I can't
about.
see down there, but
We're approaching an hour.
we're approaching it. All right. Well,
Mhm, mhm.
so there were some good moments. I have no sense of how this trial is going to come out. Um,
I don't know either. Oh, the one thing that I thought not a big thing, but Martin is back. So
oh, Martin
that's
is back and he's broke, and got no son wherever he was.
right. He was in the clink. He was in jail.
He was right. Yeah, so he was like beyond pale.
Right. He had a prison tan, Gia. That's what that's
Right,
called.
I guess.
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
I did want to let you know we were talking about
Oh, one more thing. Sorry, go ahead.
well, this is off topic. Sunscreen that they don't put on bunnies.
Oh, did you find one?
I did a little research, and believe it or not, I think it was Hawaiian Tropic was one that has
Mm.
the little bunny symbol on it.
Oh, good for them. Okay,
So
that's
next
good.
time I need a refill, I'll look for
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
There's a few brands out there. It's not impossible to find. Um,
Yeah.
oh, the one thing I was going to say, Gia, was it sounds like Brit's coming back, doesn't it?
Oh
Or at least
yeah,
that
I did.
actor.
Right, I saw an Instagram, yeah, to that effect in July, I believe. So we've got a while,
Mm, mhm,
but
mm.
they'll have to bring her back unless I mean they've really and truly killed her, so they'll have to bring her back as somebody else,
Yeah.
right?
Although we would believe it if she came back as Brit. If like
Well,
let's could Liesel could have put her
I
on
mean, we
ice or
had a
something.
body, we had a body and everything, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, but they've had frozen bodies come back
Yeah.
to life before. She could be at that, like, what's that Crichton Clark place?
Oh, that's true. I guess so.
Or Liesel. Liesel's a wizard, you know. She could have, like, been doing stuff to her to bring her back.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, but anyway, I like that actor, so we'll take her back
Yeah,
in
me too.
whatever character they want.
And
So
maybe she could get back together with Jason. I wouldn't mind that.
right. Well, yeah, Jason needs a love interest, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I think they had a good chemistry, didn't you think?
Oh yeah, they were good. Yeah, they were pretty good. So
So
I mean, if
that'll
they
be
brought her back
interesting.
as Brit, they'd still have to deal with. I mean, she got murdered, but they'd have to deal with
Mhm.
the disease too. Although
Mhm.
they could
Oh, that's
explain that
true.
away.
That's true. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so we'll see.
yeah,
Maybe she'll be like a twin or just somebody brand new. I mean, because they've done
yeah.
that before, and
They've done this before. We're fine with it. We're good.
we're fine with so much, so much.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, um,
Okay.
we appreciate everybody's patience with our messed up schedule,
Thank you, everybody.
and anybody in the airline industry, you're welcome for my incredibly
Oh,
ooh,
that was Roxy.
out of the box thinking on the baggage.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Somebody take that back to headquarters, please, at one
yeah,
of the airlines.
yeah.
See what
And
happens.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah.
We give away so much for free here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We're
Mhm.
philanthropists, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ultimately. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Someday we'll be accepting our Nobel Prize.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Mhm.
I better go blow my nose, and
Okay, Gia. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it's getting worse by the minute.
I'm
Oh,
going down.
okay.
Everybody have a good
Roxy.
night. We'll talk. I guess we will still talk on Thursday, so we'll
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
few
Okay.
episodes.
Yep. All right,
Okay.
Gia.
All right. Have a
Okay.
good one. See
You
ya.
too. Good night.
Bye, Roxy.